The Leading Edge Cricket Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, episode 28, and today we're going to get stuck into round 2 of the County Championship, and we've got a new selector in the English game. We're coming off a fantastic first interview for the podcast, which you can listen to on Apple, Android or YouTube, where we're lucky enough to sit down with a man with 30,000 runs in the first-class game, 50 plus hundreds, former Nottinghamshire Cricket Club captain Paul Johnson. It was a great conversation about some of the legends of the game, Clive Rice, Sir Richard Hadley, all the way through to white ball only cricket contracts. It's definitely one to listen to. I am Rob, one half of the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, as always, bright and early, joined by Rich.
Yeah, how's it going, bud? You alright?
Yes, doing well, mate. I've got to ask, second net of the season, how you feeling?
Achy. I'm hoping that it's just the fact that my shoulder's a bit stiff. If not, it means I've lost my throwing ability. So, I'm going to be one of those guys. I'm going to be one of them guys that can't field on the boundary anymore. So I'm hoping it's just a minor early season for me tweak, but we'll be right.
How's the batting looking? You got your eye in?
Not too. Oh, I'm throwdowns, mate. I'm a machine.
Just a nice half volley. I'm banging them away time and time again.
You should see it, yeah. Hey, we'll be there. Don't worry, we'll be there.
Oh, that sounds good. And the state of the ground. I saw a photo showing a lot of the water had disappeared. Yeah,
Newark, Kelham Road. That's where I play. It's clear of water now. It was a boating lake a little while ago, so it's clear of water now. So we should be good to go. But we have got the services of a local club over in Southall. Or a pitch, over in Southall, Norwood Park, that's going to let us use it for early season. So we're good to go. We're good to get underway. Hopefully we just need some sunshine.
That's great. Great stuff. So, Rich, I want to bring this to your attention. You're currently Norton 5 in the question of the week.
Yes. Brill. It's all right. That's my aim. I knew all the answers, but I just want to make out that I'm really stupid when it comes to these sorts of trivia questions. So that's fine.
Yeah, got to make it look interesting, right? And now last week, I asked you, there's been one test match in the history of test cricket where two opposing captains had the same surname. You gave the answer, Graham Smith, Steve Smith. I've got to tell you, Rich, there were comments on YouTube that agreed with you. Sir Hale, Steve Smith, Graham Smith. There was a couple more. Hype 23, I guess the Smiths. Well...
Right lads there.
Pains me to say that you've got it wrong once again. 0-6.
Bugger.
It's a good guess, though. I think it's the closest that you've been so far. But we've got two guys who have knowledge is the bomb in the comments who got it right. And I think it's 3 for 3 for Chris Tall. And Shankar comes to the party and he gets it right. So Shankar's answer is basically, for this week's question, I'm going to guess the surname Taylor, because there have been captains from Australia, Mark Taylor, not sure if he was a captain, New Zealand, Ross Taylor, and Zimbabwe, Brendan Taylor in the past. I might miss if there were any captains of the West Indies, England in the past. So basically, he's getting the surname Taylor, which is right. Crystal, Zimbabwe, New Zealand, 2012, Ross Taylor, Brendan Taylor, Test match captains. Take a bow, sunshine, 3 for 3.
No. Nobody cares about the surname Taylor.
It's a very influential name, apparently.
Cool. Well done, everybody. Rob, did you get the Google drop ready? Or the old dial-up modem drop that we need for Torley every time he gets an answer right?
It's brilliant. The guy's a machine. He just pulls answers out left, right, and centre. Give the man a few pints. Bang! He's got the answer.
Bless him.
So
all good. That's fine. I don't care. I'm 0 for 6. That's fine by me.
So today's question, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
This is for 0-7, and I've tried to pick an easier one for you.
What's my name?
What's your name? What's your number? Okay, so in cricket, you can be out for a diamond duck. And anyone that doesn't know, diamond duck is where you don't actually face a legal delivery to be out. And most people go, if he's out for a diamond duck, he's run out. Well, actually, there are instances in professional, international cricket where people have been out, stumped off a wide first ball, meaning they're actually out for a diamond duck in the scorebook because it's a wide and it's not a legal delivery. Now, the second time this happened was to Kieran Pollard in the 2010 World T20 World Cup, but that was not the first case. Can you name the bowler, the keeper, and the batsman associated to it? I told you it was easy.
do you want my full answer?
Yes.
No, I can't name them. Why would I be able to know that?
Well, I'm going to give you a clue as well, because I'm all about fairness. When you say you're going to give me a clue, are you going to give me the names of the people? Not quite. I'm going to tell you that it was April 2009.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I've got that then. Yeah.
And that is all. And it was a World Cup qualifying tournament.
No, Rob, I couldn't give you the answer. That's my answer.
Okay.
So I'll wait for those knowledgeable folks who listen to this who will know it off the top of their head to roll it back.
You're waiting for Torley, basically, aren't you? You're waiting for Crystal to comment in the section below, and that's how you'll get the answer.
Yep, probably.
That's probably. Right. Guys, as always, if you know, comment below on YouTube. If you do listen to this on Apple or Android or anywhere else, drop us an email at theleadingedgecricketpodcast@gmail.com and we'll be sure to make sure if you've got the right answer, we get it on air. Rich, let's kick straight into it. Cricket news.
Right then, I'm going to shuffle the pack here a little bit, Rob, on what we'd looked at. So I'm going to start off. Usman Khawaja, he's agreed to join Glamorgan for the T20 Vitality Blast competition later this summer. 31, I still can't believe Usman Khawaja's 31. He's joining on fellow Aussie Sean Marsh as the second overseas player at Glamorgan and will be available for all games. Khawaja, he's got a decent record now. He's only played 9 T20s for Australia, but domestic competitions is where he's made his money the last couple of years, averaging 32, a strike rate of 126 in IPL and Big Bash. So nice little pickup there for Glamorgan. International news, we're going to move over to one of the associate nations, Netherlands. Their skipper, Peter Boren, 34, he's announced his retirement from international cricket with immediate effect. We cover everybody on this podcast.
We sure do.
Exactly. Peter Schiller, I think that's pretty good pronunciation there, Rob, do you reckon?
Yep, nailed it.
30-yard left-arm spinner. He's going to take over the captaincy. And Jeroen Smits, the former Netherlands wicketkeeper, has been appointed the new team manager. So all changed for Netherlands.
Good.
This move was announced as a mutual decision and very much eyes on the 2020 T20 World Cup qualifying campaign, which I've mentioned that because I think in the not too distant future, we're going to start getting dug into the 2020 T20 World Cup qualifying campaign, which is already underway.
It's
not
incredible.
many people know that.
Incredible.
Yeah, so Boren, Rob, you'll appreciate this. Born in New Zealand, but completed his residency and made his debut in 2006, took the captaincy in 2010. Well remembered for his on-field achievements, obviously, but also he's been a really big, outspoken critic of the ICC, and specifically there, I think we should call it backwards thinking, decision-making that results in reduced opportunities for associate teams. So that's earned admirers, obviously. I think me and you are in that category as well, Rob.
Yeah, 100%.
So he's been a good bloke. He's finished his career, record number of appearances for the Netherlands with both formats, 58 ODIs and 43 T20s. So good work, Peter Boren. Go and put your feet up and keep slagging off the ICC when it comes to associate members.
Yeah, we got you back, bro. Don't worry. We got you back.
Amen, brother. Right. We're just going to talk a little bit Aussie here. We try and avoid this, but Tim Payne, the new Australian captain, has spoken. So obviously we heard a few words from him when he took over in South Africa, but he's had a chance to get home, sit back and have a little think. So he's basically saying that he is vowing to reduce the Australian team's levels of sledging under his leadership. So obviously, in light of a lot of the criticism the Aussies have faced, Payne has stated that I think there's always a time and a place to talk to your opposition, but I think what's said and how it's said will be very different going forward. He commented that a lot of this stuff in what we're actually starting to talk about under Steve's captaincy, so basically they were already starting to talk about this. Bullshit. Apparently he's also going to continue to speak with Steve Smith about the changing culture to keep him in the loop. Isn't that nice of him?
Oh.
Which kind of tells me that they're already half an eye on maybe Smith when he is ready to coming back, quite importantly. So Payne said they're eager to win back the trust and respect of the fans and the Australian public, and that even though a lot has been said about the culture, it's just a few things we can tweak and do a little bit better as a team. Payne added, if we do that, then I think the Australian public will jump back on board pretty quickly. That's one of our main aims for summer. So, for me, Rob, nice words from Payne, but I'd say he's falling into the same trap already as others by thinking that it's only minor things that need a tweak. We're a few weeks away, a month or so away, and now suddenly it's not as bad as it was. There's only a few things in the culture, mate. Just a few things. That's fine.
Yeah, just a couple. One thing that got me straight away was, oh yeah, that's quite cool. He's come out and he's saying, hey, look, there is some sort of problem here. We need to go back on the sledging. If I recall, Michael Clark, Ricky Ponting, and every other Australian has come out saying, oh, there's no problem with Australian cricket. There was no problem back in my day. There's no problem with sledging. There's no problem with how they're playing the game. Well, Tim Payne is speaking of something else and that they are going to do something to address. So I like it from that point of view, that they're not just collapsing under the pressure of the old regime and going, oh, no, we're Aussie. We're all right. We're okay, we are. So I like it from that point of view. I find the Steve Smith part strange, that the guy's been stripped of captaincy. There should be no talk of him coming back as captain as of right now. He can earn it down the road, but to almost have him earmarked and penciled in going, hey, 31st of March, whenever it's going to be next year, Steve Smith, you're coming back as captain, that is fundamentally wrong to the suspension. And I would say if it was an English captain that had been suspended, England would not put him back in the captaincy role the first day that he came back. So I'm very disappointed to hear that.
No, I mean, it's not obviously said that. I think, Payne's just saying he's keeping him in the loop, isn't he? He used that term. But and the suspension does say that for a period of 12 months after the suspension, they won't be allowed to hold any positions of responsibility as in captain or vice-captain. But it just kind of suggests that there's a little bit of, crack in the door of whatever you want to say that potentially, things can change in a year, can't they? But the fact that they're keeping Smith involved, it might just be a nice little thing at the moment while Payne gains control and Smith goes and sits on a beach somewhere. Yeah. But we'll see anyway. But for me, though, it's just Australian cricket doesn't seem to get it. And this is not everybody, but just there's a few people popping their heads up. Unless they really it's kind of admitting your mistakes, isn't it? And admitting what's wrong. It's the first stage of actually getting over something and repairing something. And unless they understand that these are real deep-rooted issues, the culture change won't come quickly, or it'll be a little bit of sticking plaster over something, which will soon come off and they'll go back to their own old ways. So just moving on a little bit, Surrey coach, an ex-Australian batsman, Michael Di Venuto, he's a good example of this, mate. He just doesn't get it. So he's the Surrey coach, and he's basically come out and said that he would be open to bringing in David Warner or Steve Smith this year during their bans if the ECB, the England and Wales Cricket Board, would permit them to play in county cricket. So it just, it's not helping. I know that the ban has said that they're not allowed to play domestically in Australia, and it doesn't say anywhere that they're not allowed to play domestically around the world. But it doesn't set a precedent or a good precedent at this early stage, and it is still early on. Actually, do you know what? We're only a few weeks down the road, but it's all quieting down now. So we'll bring over Steve Smith or David Warner and have a bash in county cricket at the back end of the summer. It's brain dead.
It is. I'm not a fan of these comments whatsoever. The guys are suspended. They're not allowed to play in the IPL. They're not allowed to play for Australia. They've got to go and rehab in grade cricket. Do not turn round as an Aussie in the English game saying, hey, I'd take them because the other 17 counties without an Australian coach, or the other 16 or 15, do not want to take them. Sure, they're a great player and they can add some value, but that is not the point. It's the fundamental impact of what they did and the culture that they are part of and have partly created over the last few years. They need to take time out of the game, not you try and get one-upsmanship at Surrey going, oh yeah, we can have these guys and we might win the league.
Yeah, enlightened me. Everybody's got it wrong, but Michael Di Venuto, he's the one that understands it best. It's daft. It's like you said, go and play grade cricket. The whole point, like what Tim Payne was saying, rehabilitate and go and kind of get your appreciation for cricket. Go and pay back the Australian cricketing public by playing some, grade cricket. It's not club cricket as such, is it? Grade cricket is sensational standard.
Yeah.
So, go and do that. Go and enjoy yourself. Go and realise why you enjoyed cricket again, rather than trying to go to Bunnings and get a bit of sandpaper. So all a bit daft for me, but these things, it keeps rearing its head, doesn't it? And I just thought that was too good to leave out this week. So moving on, let's get Ed Smith. There's one piece of news that we haven't spoken about yet, and we're building up to that because I think we might both have to come off a long run up on that one. So Ed Smith, though, in the meantime, Ed Smith has been named as the new England selector. So this is quite big news. Basically, ECB under Andrew Strauss have decided they're going to rip up the old system and start a new one. So Ed Smith, he is the first man, ex-Kent, Middlesex, and can we say ex-England? I think we can, can't we? Just. He's been appointed as a new national selector for England and replaces James Whittaker, who recently left his role following the announcement of the selection restructure. So what this means, Smith is basically chief selector for the Test, ODI and T20 teams. A big old remit, that. Ed Smith has been quoted as saying, "It's an exciting time for English cricket and the opportunity was too good to turn down." He also added that he was very much looking forward to working with Trevor Bayliss, Joe Root and Owen Morgan as we work towards ensuring that the talent in English cricket feeds into consistent performances in all formats of the game. All very good. Smith also expressed that selection and talent idea have always fascinated him, and he's explored extensively how they are evolving. So, he's about 40, isn't he? Good age. He's written books about the links between cricket and baseball. He's a very intelligent fellow. He's a bit of a historian. So he does have some interesting angles into the game, hasn't he? He's a commentator, ex-player, ex-international, and obviously looking at this new sort of wave of talent identification. Andrew Strauss just said that Smith stood out, was the ideal candidate. He went on to say there is a real depth to his talent identification knowledge, and he's done a great amount of research into the subject. He has a rich and varied sum of experience, having played professional cricket for 12 years and having written extensively on cricket and other sports. As well as this, he has a strong academic interest in high performance and excellent knowledge of the international game. So Smith's going to be responsible for naming another independent selector, someone that's not affiliated to a county, that will work with him and the England coach Trevor Bayliss. There will then be a further 12, if not more, discipline-specific scouts. That'll be a batting scout, keeper scout, spin scout, whatever it might be. 12 specific scouts that will be appointed with a remit to provide information to the selectors. So, interesting move, interesting name. Rob.
The thing that strikes me about this more than the name, Ed Smith, sure, he's in that role. He's someone that Andrew Strauss has identified that has a similar skill set to Andrew Strauss in many ways and many similar characteristics.
Politely putting it.
Yeah, he fits the mould of what Andrew Strauss is trying to do. Andrew Strauss is actually playing this quite well, where he's not looking at the plays, he's actually looking at it from the top down and going, what do we need to change at the top to then work down the structure in terms of fixing what's wrong. And I actually quite like this move. Not because it's Ed Smith. I like the fact that there is going to be an independent selector to work alongside Ed Smith, who's not associated to any counties and you don't get favouritism. And I really like the scouting system. It amazes me that there's only 18 counties and there is not an England selector or an England scout or someone associated at every single bloody game of cricket that is going on in England. Surely, any other sport in the world at this top level, there are scouts absolutely everywhere. And this is, I think, we're going to look back at this and go, that is where the English game was able to move up, because we identified an issue at the top, we sorted out the scouting system and how we pick people, and then I think what you're going to see over the next few years is Andrew Strauss really diving into how the whole structure below that top level works.
Yeah, we've fiddled too many times, haven't we? It needed to absolutely rip up and start again, and credit to Strauss for doing that. The merits of the man Ed Smith, I'm sure they are there. It's a little bit, there's a bit too much of the old, Oxbridge elite sort of thing, isn't there?
Yes.
In English cricket still. And if he is the right man, that doesn't matter. But it would just be nice to have a little, and I hope that should have say that there will be some other people being brought in that will have a different background rather than the Strauss, Ed Smith, private schooling, top sort of university sort of system. So that's one part of it. The other part, it's like we spoke about and like you've just touched on there. Other sports, like American sports, for example, they will have a scout allocated either regionally or they'll have a scout almost to every single team. You could even have 18 scouts, couldn't you, permanently watching? But I like the idea of the actual discipline specific because, it's putting an expert out there, maybe a Mushtaq Ahmed or someone that's been linked with England in the past who's going to just go out there and just look at spin bowling.
Yeah.
There's no point getting a guy that's it was a great batsman and who can identify batsmen also going and watching seamers or spinners. Sometimes the opposite perspective can be good, but you need those experts in there as well. So it's a start. Let's see how it goes. One thing I want them to do, though, I want them to be brave. I don't want this continuous, going back to the same sort of people. Let's be brave. Get out of the box. Nobody thought Trescothick was going to come in the team when he did. That's always the example. And, he scored some runs, but it wasn't at the best average. So be brave. Let's see how it goes. Let's see who the names are that come in. But anything's got to be better. And just a very quick point, you say about obviously people being linked to counties. Being a little bit potential bias, I think we get the opposite of that sometimes as well. Mick Newell at Notts, he's been a selector for the last God knows how many years. Very few Notts players tend to get in when they should. We've had obviously the scenarios of Samet, Alex Hales didn't get in over the winter. So there are some players that don't actually get in. So a bit of a strange one, but who knows? Let's see, Rob.
Let's see.
Yay. Right. Shall we talk about that other thing, Rob?
Oh, it pains me to, but we've got to talk about it.
Yeah. Anybody listening at the moment, I'll just need you to say to yourself what this topic is. Yeah, it's that one. Right, so the English and Wales Cricket Board, they want to introduce a new, innovative 100-ball format for the new 8-team city-based competition that is set to begin in England in 2020. Sorry, England and Wales. The concept will be made of 2 innings, so far so good, consisting of 15 6-ball overs and then a final 10-ball over. A 16.4 over innings, as Rob likes to call it. This is going to be 20 balls shorter than than the traditional T20 innings. It's such a traditional, old-fashioned concept, T20.
It is, old game.
Yeah, so the brains behind this idea claims that the 100-ball countdown would attract new audiences and be popular with broadcasters. They're looking at the families, the children, getting people that don't usually watch cricket into cricket stadiums. ECB's Chief Exec Officer Tom Harrison said this is a fresh and exciting idea that will appeal to a younger audience and attract new fans to the game. The new city-based competitions board, it's worth noting, unanimously support the development of this 100-ball concept. And it's also worth noting the competition will take place alongside the existing T20 Blast. So in 2020, when this competition comes along, it will be played in isolation, and then there will be the Vitality Blast or whoever's sponsoring it at the time, T20, as a separate. So we'll still have a T20, but this is a different competition aiming at different people that don't usually come and watch cricket. So the proposed city competition is going to be 8 teams being based at Lords, the Oval, Ageas Bowl, Hampshire, Edgbaston, Headingley, Old Trafford, Swaylake, Oval, which is Glamorgan, and then Trent Bridge. And they're going to have both men's and women's teams at each of the 8 locations. And those men and women's teams are going to share the same identity, which I think is going to be good. And they'll also play this same format. BBC and Sky have agreed a deal to broadcast it from 2020 to 2024. And I don't just mean 20 past 8 to 24 minutes past 4 minutes later. I mean the years. So it's an idea. It's an idea that's been developed. It's been welcomed by broadcasters and player reps for both the men's and women's games. Fans, I think, and us, understandably sceptical. And we've not seen much support outside of players who are kind of seemingly towing the party line of the paymasters. So that's a bit of a strange one. There is also, before I let you go off your long run at Rob, there's also one other issue that's at play here. Law 17.1 of the MCC laws state that the ball shall be bowled from each end alternately in overs of 6 balls. So if they want to get this to go ahead, they're going to have to change the rules, and they're going to have to get the MCC to allow that change. And it was back in 1979 that they actually settled on the 6 ball after fiddling with 4, 5, 6 and 8 ball formats. So, Robert, I believe that you're a big fan of this.
I'm gonna start off by being polite. I'm gonna tell you what I do like. Mm-hmm. BBC broadcast rights. I like
okay. That. I thought your silence was basically you saying, I don't like anything.
It actually almost was. I was like, for comic timing, no. There are things I do like. I like BBC broadcasting to a big event. There's no reason why T20 shouldn't be on TV either, on normal TV. Yeah. I really like men's and women's teams sharing the same names and probably playing on the same night as well. I think that's huge. Yep. I like the play from the ECB to try and get people who don't watch cricket playing cricket. I don't like 100 balls. 100 balls is absolutely dumb. Just giving it a countdown does not make it more appealing to other people that don't watch cricket. People that don't watch cricket don't like T20 cricket because it's long and boring still. They do not like it because it's 20 balls shorter. Fixing 20 balls of an innings is not the problem. And who sits around a table and goes, you know what, this 20 over game, what if we did 16.4 overs a team? Who on the table said that? And who in the room at the same time goes, you know what, that's bloody genius. You know what, my granny would come down and watch it if it was 16.4 overs a game. No! And then putting 10 ball overs at the end of the innings. What can we do to make the most exciting part of the game, the last few overs of the innings, more exciting? Oh, well, we can create a 10 ball over at the end. Oh, yeah, that's great. No, it's absolutely dumb. People get bored around the middle of the innings. If you're going to have a look, the start and the end are the two most exciting points of 2020 cricket. What you're looking to do is try and find the gap, the bit that's bad, and you go the middle of the innings. Okay, let's look at a different solution for the middle of the innings if you want to try and overcomplicate a very simple T20 game.
Rah! I love it. Exactly, man. It's ridiculous. Honestly, some absolute... I don't know what word to use. Some absolute dishcloth, there's a good word, has decided that a 10-ball over at the end would be awesome. I mean, the 100-ball concept, it's a marketer's dream, isn't it?
It is.
It's somebody that's nothing to do with cricket. Someone, in a shirt and tie has gone, 100 balls, that's the concept. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, 100 balls. I don't dislike that. But for God's sake, how they've gone about saying they're going to do it, 60, the 6-ball over and then a 10 over at the end. The 10 over at the end kills me. Rich, I want you to bowl the last over. Yeah. Get yourself jumped off the cliff.
The latest rumour on 10-ball overs is there might be 3 bowlers to bowl it.
Oh, for God's sake. So it's not a 10-ball over then?
Oh, well, it's 3.3 balls per bowler.
Balls, ridiculous. The last ball, all 3 have to run in holding hands and then swing themselves round to let the ball go.
It's purely a play based on money. They've got this intercity competition. They know they've missed the big play on the T20. Yes, they invented T20 cricket, whatever they want to call it. The IPL monetised it in an absolute emphatic fashion and wiped out the rest of the market. The Big Bash sweeps up the rest, and there's the PSL, and there's a bit of Caribbean League and a bit of Bangladesh League. The English T20 game is good. It's not as big as some of the others around the world, and the ECB are going, we need to think of the next thing because we need to be absolutely top draw in terms of monetisation. Okay, let's do the 100-ball concept and do it with cities, taking a bit of how the IPL works, almost like franchises, and we're going to try and make that stick. It's just money grabbing, and I understand it because they are trying to run like a business, but I can't see past 10-ball overs. If my captain said, hey, Bobby, you've got the 10-ball over at the end today, uphill into the wind, and that guy's on 90 not out, you know what I'd do? I'd faint a hamstring injury about 2 balls in when I've gone for 12 runs.
It's just daft, mate. It's daft. And the key word when I'm reading all this is that it's going to be developed. They support the development. So I hope that this remains a concept. Obviously, they've put it out there to test the public opinion, haven't they? And the public opinion surely has been overwhelmingly, don't be so bloody stupid. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But there will be people out there that it becomes an echo chamber. These people in these offices, the ECB or the England Wales Cricket Board, will be putting these ideas to other people that will be going, yeah, that's a great idea. Broadcasters, yeah, that's a great idea, because it's novel. They can package it, they can market it. But for people, and also they're going to get away with kind of saying, well, actually, it's not really for cricket fans. It's for people that don't really like cricket. But then it begs the question, how will those people get engaged into the cricket unless people that like cricket are already going to say, let's go to the cricket? I'm just confused.
You've got to say, what are they trying to fix? England have just toured Australia. This could not come at a worse time. They've just toured Australia and been absolutely hammered 4-0. They've just lost in New Zealand for the first time since Jesus was a lad. And what are you going to do to fix the longer form of the game, which has got problems? The county circuit needs fixing. Kids into the game need fixing at the long end of the game. Paul Johnson quoted saying last week, if you can play the long form of the game, you can play the short form. Dead easy. You've got a technique. You understand cricket. Well, what this is doing, and I read stuff and it just infuriates me. What they want to do is the T20 has become longer and longer format of the game. It's more than 4 hours in some parts of the world. We want to give kids the ability to watch cricket before they go to bed. Well, taking 20 balls off an innings is not really doing that.
If you want to, if it's the time that's the issue, then sharpen it up a little bit. Yep. Sharpen the times up. When this first started, there was an actual way of making, there was a strict way of keeping the game a little bit shorter, wasn't there? You could still do that. I mean, IPL, they have these technical timeouts and all sorts. IPL is the longest T20 innings around at the moment. You can sharpen up a T20. You can get people round a bit quicker. There's ways of doing it. There are ways of doing it. So just, I don't know, this concept is badly thought out at the moment. It's an interesting concept, but no, it's not going to work as it appears at the moment. For a start, the 10 ball over at the end has got to go. But let's see. Let's see how this develops. At the moment, it's an absolute crock of shit, but we shall see. They'll probably come back with a tweak on it at some point in the future. The other thing as well, we've already said we're going to have these 8 city-based franchises. It's different. That is a massive change. It's the first time that has ever happened in English cricket. So, there isn't necessarily... It's almost like they're looking at that going, oh, well, that's massive. It's never been done before, but that's not enough. Let's see what else we can do. Yeah. It's plenty. That's a start. Maybe a T20 tournament alongside the city base would be fine. And then in time, it could be tweaked. But for now, it's plenty. So, again, we shall see, Bobby. We shall see. But that's a good long run-up from you, mate, today. I don't think I've seen you off a long run-up since you were very, very young.
Yeah, so, normally the hamstring would go, or I developed a stutter when I was about 22 when I was bowling.
Your flat-footed stutter.
Yeah.
Still wanged it down, but it was yeah, so I'm glad to hear you off that, and it was definitely a good grrr.
Yeah, I feel better. I feel like I've lightened the load, mate.
Right then, let's get up to date with what's been going on in the county championship. We're going to start with Division 1, and after the first week, a lot of rain around, but we got some results in. And this week, again, there's been plenty of good cricket being played. So we're going to start with the big game. Well, one of the big games. They're all big games. Yorkshire against Nottinghamshire. Could Nottinghamshire make it 2 wins out of 2 on their return to Division 1? Sadly not. Yorkshire kind of give them a bit of a spanking. I think Notts were outplayed over these 4 days, and Yorkshire won by 164 runs. So, breaking it down, Yorkshire 256 all out in their first innings. Adam Lyth 45, Brook 22 batting at 5, Andrew Hodd, the wicketkeeper, 62, and Jack Brooks down at number 10 with a 30 not out. Probably worth mentioning Code as well. Ben Code, the bowler, he got himself a nice little 18 at number 11. With the ball, Luke Fletcher 4 for 47, Jake Ball 2 for 51, and Harry Gurney 3 for 46. Gurney picked up his 500th first-class wicket in this game, by the way. So, in response for Notts, 188 all out. This is where you win and lose a game, isn't it? First innings. Mullaney, first ball of the innings, gone. Jack Brooks. Libby only got 6, Chris Nash none. That's the problem for Notts at the moment. Samit got 4. Notts were 39 for 4. It's a big hole to get out of. Ross Taylor, the Kiwi, 57 off 70 balls, and Ricky Vessels 40, the mainstays, but Jake Ball down at number 10, 44 not out. Very impressive performance from Ben Code, 4 for 49 for him, and Jack Brooks 3 for 58. Bresnan chipping in with 2 for 45. So, nice little lead of about 70-odd for Yorkshire. What could Notts do? Well, not much. 334 all out for Yorkshire. 82 for Balance was the mainstay, but Tim Bresnan down at number 8, 68 not out. A couple of little chip-ins there. Brook again, 36. Jack Leaning, 37. All-round display. Ben Code again, worth mentioning, 33 at number 11. A really good performance from him in this game. Jake Ball, 3 for 69. Luke Fletcher, 2 for 45. 3 for 86 for Gurney, and 1 for the match for Luke Wood. So Notts needed far too many to win, and they ended up getting 238, losing by 164. Jake Libby 38, Nash 23, Taylor 30, Mullaney 13 at the top, 33 for Vessels. Patel failed again. Tom Moore's 40 not out, and Jake Ball 30 again. So another good day for him with the bat. But Ben Coe 6 for 81, going alongside his 4 for 49. So a 10-wicket match for him. Exceptional performance. 2 for Brooks, 1 for Shaw, 1 for Bresnan. So Yorkshire get the big win.
Impressive performance from Ben Code. 10 wickets and about 50 runs batting at number 11. That's a real... It's probably a career day for the lad, but that's really good. We've got to talk about Nottingshire's shortcomings. The top 6 have got issues at the moment. Libby and Mullaney aren't clicking. But what we're seeing, we're playing in a county championship where the ball is swinging and nobody is getting big runs. But unfortunately for Notts, nobody's going on and getting 50s. That's the absolute minimum that we need to start getting to out of this top 6. Yes, Ross Taylor managed to get a 50, but in the second innings he only managed 30. Second innings, guys were getting in and out, 38, 23, 30, 33. Tom Moore's a good 40 not out. It's not good enough at the Division 1 standard that they're playing at, because teams are going to get runs, and you've got to look at the difference, and you've got to go, yeah, Ben Code had a really good performance. They took a lead at the start, But that third innings by Yorkshire, where Gary Balance and Tim Bresnan were able to put on so many runs, that was the big difference between the two.
Yeah, most definitely. So a good win for Yorkshire. I'm sure Notts will be looking to bounce back, and those batsmen will obviously be looking to get themselves going. So on to Surrey, on to the Oval. Surrey against Hampshire. Surrey won this game by 139 runs. So Surrey batting first. 211 all out, so a bit of a starting innings. People making starts. Burns at the top of the order, 46. Dean Elgar, 44. Ben Folkes, the keeper batsman, 46. Pope, 34. That's Ollie Pope, isn't it? 34. And not much more. So 211 all out. 4 wickets for Fidel Edwards and 4 wickets for Liam Dawson. 1 each for Abbott and Wood. So moving on, Hampshire's first innings, a pretty woeful 147 all out. Only really Hashin Amla 53 troubling anybody. McManus 22 at the top of the order, 17 for Adams opening. Abbott 23 down at the bottom. 4 wickets apiece for Sam Curran and Ricky Clark. 1 apiece for Dernbach and Matt Dunn. On to the next innings. This is where Surrey won the game. 407 for 9 declared. This is it. Massive score. 145 for Ollie Pope batting down at number 6. 191 balls, 18 boundaries. A top knock from him. Supported ably by Ben Folkes, 81. And 74 for Borthwick at number 3. So a really good display from the Surrey players there. Wickets to Abbott and Edwards, 3 for 72 for Abbott, 3 for 130 for Edwards off 23 overs, and 2 for Dawson, 2 for 85. So far too big a total for Hampshire. But again, the pitch obviously improved as the game went on, and Hampshire did get 332, but they fell 139 short. So a cracking effort. Sam North East, his first century for Hampshire, batting at 529. Again, lots of starts. Adams 21, James Vince 33. LBW though didn't nick off. Amla 21, Riley Russo 29, Abbott 29, Wood 26. Far too many starts and nobody really hanging around to back with North East. 2 for 86 for Dernbach, 4 for 79 for Amar Verdi. Now, he was one of the guys we said was a bit of a keep an eye on this young fella. Yeah. So 4 for him. Cracking display, bowling a team out in the 4th innings, and done 2 for 41. So good win for Surrey.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine a team winning by 139 runs when they're bowled out for 211 in the first innings of a game. But it says a lot about who they are. Fidel Edwards was absolutely on fire the first morning of this game. His wickets of Stoneman and Borthwick were absolutely identical. Borthwick ended up on his hands and knees from a late in-swinger. It was incredible to watch. Fast bowling at its absolute best. I really, really do like this Hampshire bowling lineup. I really do. Sometimes I look at the batting and I go, 2 and 3 looks a bit suspect. And they were bowled out for 147, only Hashim Amla really adding it in. But great to see Sam Curran getting some wickets in this format. And Ricky Clark as well. We had this moment when we were looking at the teams going, wow, Ricky Clark's still playing. Well, he's still playing and he's still getting wickets. Ollie Pope got his second first-class century. Huge day for him. He's almost up to 500 first-class runs, of which involves 2 centuries and a 50. So fair play to the lad. Batted superb with Scott Borthwick, turned himself into a batsman over the years. And the bowling just wasn't as efficient. Kyle Abbott and Fidel Edwards are going to be as 2 a good opening pair there are in first-class cricket. And to go out there and get runs like they did, it's a real credit. But on the losing side, Sam North East, he's gone there. He's trying to reinvigorate his career as a first-class player and potentially as an England cricketer down the line. He's still only 28, and it'll mean the world to him to get big runs, 4th innings, trying to save or win a game.
Yeah, it was a top effort from him, and that's the sort of innings you need to play to really catch the eyes. If that was a win, then that would have been that's all we probably would have been talking about.
It would
is a Sam North East innings, but sadly he's on the losing side, so it'll probably get forgotten as we go forward. So, moving across, Somerset against Worcestershire. Somerset's first game of the season. We saw not the most high scoring of game. Only 255 was the highest innings score. So, anyway, let's get going. Somerset first inning is 202 all out. Truskoffic out for 1 at top of the order. That's not how he wants to start the season. But Aussie, Matt Renshaw, replacing that bloke, we won't mention his name. Matt Renshaw, 101 not out, batted from number 3, batted through the innings. Hildreth at 448, and then it dropped off a cliff. So 202 all out. 5 wickets for 52 for Ed Barnard, and 2 for Joe Leach, isn't it? Too many Leaches in the game. Steve McGoffin, 1 for 26, 2 for 42 for Tong. Where did we go from here, Rob? 179 all out for Worcestershire. Again, they're not really making the scores. 49 for Travis Head, the Aussie, batting at number 5. 50 for Ed Barnard, so a good couple of innings for him. But for the wickets, Lewis Gregory 4 for 51, Craig Overton 2 for 53, and Davey. Let's have a look. Who's Josh Davey? I've not come across that name before. 3 for 38 for them. So Somerset, second innings, posted the highest score of the game, innings at the right time as well. Trescothick made some runs, 43 at the top of the order. James Hildreth, though, 111 not out, so followed up his pretty good start in the first innings. Abel, 27, batting at number 5, and then a couple of starts lower down the order, 2 5 5. Leach again, 2 for 61, 2 wickets again. Ed Barnard, though, 11 wickets in the game, 6 for 37. That's first change. McGoffin and Tong 1 apiece. So, Worcestershire, could they do it? They needed 270 odd to win, and they were 195 all out. Not much from the top of the order. Mitchell 1, D'Oliveira 5. Fell 41, before he was trapped LBW by Gregory. And then as we go down the order, 23 for Cox, and then 45 not out for that man again. Ed Barnard had a cracking game, and Tong 34 at the end. Last wicket, Renshaw ran out to McGoffin, and that was it. 195 all out, and Somerset win by 83 runs.
This is a come-to-Jesus day for Ed Barnard, right? 5 for 52. Then backs it up by scoring 50, the only 50 of the innings. Then goes and picks up 6 for 37 in an incredible spell of bowling. And then picks up 45 not out at the end. So the guy's only 22 years old and he's putting up these sorts of performances. He's got experience. He's played 35 first-class games. He's gone over 100 first-class wickets at a touch under 30. And he's batting. It's actually the 8th time that he's passed 50, and he averages 32 with the bat. So a genuine all-rounder at this level. Absolutely superb. See another young bowler doing so well. James Hildreth, almost the almost guy. For so many years, we said it in the preview pod, I thought this guy was going to be England. Absolutely nailed down. Never quite did, but great to see him in the runs, and Tresco picking up 43. But the Worcestershire team has got a few problems. We said after the first game, it's not all doom and gloom. And again, they go and show it is not all doom and gloom. They're not completely out of this contest. They just need more application from the top order.
Yeah, absolutely. So last year's champions were on to Essex. They played their second game of the season after drawing the first. And they did not start this game as they would have liked. So 150 all out in the first innings. England hopeful. Nick Brown at the top, only scoring 23. And nobody really got going. Siddle, that man Siddle, 33 towards the bottom of the order, batting at number 9, I believe it was. No, number 10, I apologise. He was 33 not out, so it got him to a respectable figure. Wickets shared around. Graham Onions 2 for 43, Joe Many 3 for 52, 2 for 17 for Jordan Clark, and Tom Bailey opening the bowling 2 for 19 off 12. Nice spell for him. So well bowled there by Lancashire. So on to the Lancashire first innings. Unbelievably, they finished 6 behind Essex, 144 all out. Not a game for first innings. Keaton Jennings failed 2 off 8 balls. Hasib Hamid failed 8 off 22 balls. We're not getting what we want off those from an England perspective at the moment, are we? No. Alex Davis at number 3, 6 off 17. Obviously, he's struggled to start this season, but I'm sure things will turn around shortly. Liam Livingston 33, Dane Villas 25, Clark 25. So again, few starts, but nothing much. 5 for 46 off 15.1 overs for Simon Harmer. Big player for them last year, but this is more important for me. Jamie Porter, 5 for 26 off 12 overs with the new ball. Bowled really well, so that's great to see that he's in the wicket. So where do we go from here? Essex batting second, pretty much all square at this point. 313 all out. Was this the difference? Yes, it was. Brown, 17, Chopra, 32, Westley, 49 at the top of the order. Made a pretty good start. Young Dan Lawrence failed with 5. Bapara and Tenzascarta, 26-25 apiece starts. James Foster, who keeps going, 69 before he was LBW for Bailey. And then Simon Harmer, 49, batting down the order at number 9. Wickets shared around again. 3 for Bailey, 3 for 57. 3 for 73 for Bailey, 3 for 57 for Onions, and 3 for 47 for the Aussie Joe Many. young Parkinson. Matt Parkinson, the young spinner, who's done well over the winter, 1 for 49 off 18. So Lancashire, requiring 319 to win, came very, very close. A great effort from them. Keaton Jennings, 24 at the top of the order. Hasib Hamid, 1. Not good. But Alex Davis, 71 off 85 balls. A really entertaining knock from him. Liam Livingston, 23. Shandapal failed. He only got his 1. Villas, 22. And then Clark really gave it a good push. Jordan Clark, 59 off 80 balls. And then it was all about Joe Menny. Joe Menny at the end, 56. He was the last man out. Bowled Porter, just short, 31 runs short. This one looked like it was going to be an unlikely finish, but Essex just held on in the end to win by 31 runs.
Yeah, good win for Essex. And again, we look at it and we go 150 in the first innings and you managed to win the game. So much credit deserved to them. Siddle's 33 at the end of that first innings. They were 105 for 8 and managed to get through to 150. So massive effort from those guys. And then the bowling, you've just got to go Jamie Porter. This is absolute worldy stats that the guy's putting up. 24 years old, almost 25. 218 wickets, an average of just under 23 in first-class cricket, and he's getting better and better. Great wickets returns last year in Division 2. Now getting it done in Division 1. Massive to see. The partnership that changed the game. It's got to be Harmer and it's got to be James Foster because the game is in the balance. They are 208 for 7. If they're 220 all out, they've lost this game of cricket. But it's that partnership that in tow added another 100 runs onto the score and meant they did get it home. But Porter, Siddle and Harmer, they're 3 great bowlers at this level. They're going to be a hard team to beat Essex with that bowling attack. But I look at most of these, or I look at some of these first-class counties and go, their bowling attack's really good. The batting's not firing, but it is early English conditions.
Exactly, yeah. The bowlers, this is the best time of year to be bowling, isn't it? So some of these batters, let's not write them off too soon. They'll come good. Worrying, really looking at 1 or 2 potential England hopefuls, the likes of Jennings and Hasib Hamid in particular. But like we said, give them a bit of time. Let's see how they could turn it around. So let's have a quick look at the Division 1 table as it stands at the moment. Lancashire bottom, Worcestershire second from bottom, 7 and 6 points respectively. Lost both of their first games. Somerset and Surrey have only played 1 game. They both got a win, 20 points for both of those guys. And then we've got Notts in 4th place, won 1, lost 1 now, 23 points. And then we've got 2 points tied on 24, Essex and Hampshire. Played 2, won 1, drawn 1 for Essex, won 1, lost 1 for Hampshire. And Yorkshire, top of the table after 2 games, won 1, drawn 1, 26 points. So very, very tight from 1 to 6. Worcestershire and Lancashire obviously will be looking to get up and running in the next round of fixtures. Right, on to Specsavers County Championship Division 2. Let's get these games wrapped up. Northamptonshire against Warwickshire. Warwickshire, innings and 48-run win over Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire losing the first 2 games. Tough start to the season for them. Richard Levi, 41 at number 4. A few starts, but nothing really worth talking about. With the ball, 6 for 35. Ryan Sidebottom. No, he's not out of retirement. It's the other one. 6 for 35. That's the one we're going to talk about, I think, in the upcoming pod. It's a nice story. And G10 Patel, 2 for 32. This is a Warwickshire team that was missing Ollie Stone and Keith Barker. So a really good bowling performance in the first innings for Warwickshire. Warwickshire, 413 in their one and only innings. Tim Ambrose, 103 off 155 balls, the top scorer. But Sam Hain, great to see him at scoring 85 at number 5. Someone that's done really well over the winter. And the big question was, can he do it in red ball rather than just do it with the white ball? And also down at number 10, a young chap named Henry Brooks, 70 off 120 balls. Top effort. With the ball, Sanderson, 3 for 62, 3 for 101 for Bracewell, 2 for 68 for our man Richard Gleeson, and 2 for 101 for Northampton newcomer Brett Hutton. So, Northamptonshire, needing a mountain to climb, were dismissed for 218, with Rob Newton, 46 at the top of the order, Alex Wakely, 25 at 3, Aidan Rossington, 58, Cobb, 30, Bracewell, 15, not out, but that's pretty much all they could muster. 4 for 61 to go along with his 6 for Ryan Sidebottom, 2 for Wright at the top of the opening bowling, 2 for 38, 2 for 65 for Patel, and 2 for 33 for that young fella Brooks. So, cracking performance from Warwickshire. They are on fire at the minute, won 1 and drawn 1, and they are rightly top of the table.
Yeah, that's an absolute hammering for Northamptonshire. They'll have to go back to the drawing board for next week. There's a theme. Day 1, County Championship, April, whatever you do, win the toss and bowl. And Northamptonshire, unfortunately, are in a position where they're batting, 147 and all that. Not even in question. Ryan Sidebottom, yes, we should do something on him next time because it is a nice story and it's great to see him doing so well for Warwickshire, picking up his 10 wickets. He said it was a dream for him doing something like this and he absolutely nailed it. But you can see from the Warwickshire innings that it wasn't easy. Gleeson picking up a couple of wickets early at the top of the order. But it's when the new ball lost its shine a little bit that Hayne, Lamb, Ambrose, those guys really solidified things in the middle. Because this team was 120 for 4 at one point. 167 for 5, but they managed to go on and make 413. So it's going to be that depth later on in the season that really comes out because it isn't just your top 5 that have to score your runs. You win the dirty games by 7-8, 6-7-8 scoring your runs, right? And that's exactly what Warwickshire's been able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a really good performance, and they are the informed team at the minute. And under strength bowling attack as well, but they still got the job done by winnings by an innings. So top effort for Warwickshire. And our genius on the question of the week, Chris Toll, will be delighted as Warwickshire's number 1 fan. Moving across to Leicestershire. Leicestershire, their first game of the season, they hosted Sussex. Sussex drawing their first game, and this game was drawn. No team was bowled out in this game, so interesting one. 422 for 9 for Leicestershire. Sussex, let's start with them. That would be a good place to start, wouldn't it? 438 for 8 for Sussex. Top score, Burgess, 101 not out. Michael Burgess, 147 balls. A good knock from him. Ably supported by Ben Brown, 64, and also Luke Wright batting at 5, 88. For him. Interesting note here, Ishant Sharma, 66, batting at 10. That's his first class half century.
Take a bow, son.
Good lad. He deserves a bit of praise there. 2 wickets for Mohammed Abbas for 61 for Leicestershire. 3 for 104 for Ben Rain. 1 apiece for Dexter, Parkinson and Javid. So what could Leicestershire do? Well, I've already told you. 422 for 9 for Leicestershire. Big knock here. HD Ackerman. Colin Ackerman. Is that HD Ackerman? Oh, am I getting confused? Colin Ackerman. Yeah, the HD is in my head from somewhere. Maybe that's his name as well. We will find out. Anyway, 186 off 350 balls at number 3 for him. Top scorer of the season so far. Mike Carberry, 32 at the top of the order for him. Cosgrove still churning runs out, 64. 34 for Dexter and 44 Ben Rain. So a top effort from Leicestershire. 3 for 85 for Ishant Sharma and 4 for 81 for Luke Wells, bowling as the 6th bowler. Sussex batting second, 241 for 4. Not enough time in this game to carry on. Plenty of runs being scored. Wells at the top of the order. Luke Wells, 102 not out, 241. Battered them through. Lots of starts here. 17 for Salt. Stian Van Zyl, 24. Finch, 22. Harry Finch, that is, not Aaron, in case anyone's wondering. Aaron's in the IPL. Luke Wright, 29, and Ben Brown, 25, not out to take us home. 1 for 37 for Abbas, 1 for 42 for Rain, and 1 apiece for Griffiths and Javid. So, match drawn. Leicestershire played 1, drawn 1. Sussex played 2, drawn 2.
Yeah, Sussex, they've kind of thrown a spanner in the works. I've been going, every team that bat first doesn't do very well. Well, they got 438 for 8, and that's going against what we said. But again, top of the order, it was hard. And it was the lower middle order that actually managed to get your runs. Your 5, 6, 7s, 8s. They were the ones getting it done, as well as Ishant Sharma down the end. Absolutely brilliant. Leicestershire, we were worried about Leicestershire going into this season, but this is a top performance from that batting lineup. And you look at the batting lineup, and it's one of the better ones that they've actually been able to put together. Carberry, Ackerman, Cosgrove, all in the top 4. That is something that the Leicestershire fans can really get behind this year. Their problem is going to be with the ball, and we could see even in the second innings, Sussex 241 for 4. So they do have a few problems to go at this year, but it's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah, no. There's optimism. If there's doom and gloom this time of the season, we are struggling, aren't we? So,
we are struggling.
We're all optimistic. The sun's not even properly started shining yet, so season's only just begun. Right, Gloucestershire, Glamorgan. Let's get across to that one. Glamorgan won this game by 6 wickets. Quite a high-scoring affair, really. Gloucestershire, the lowest score of the game, 2-3-6 all out. First innings, Benny Howe 11 and Dent 6, so not a great start for them. Gareth Roderick 17. Bracey 34, we're starting to get into it. Higgins 43, and then the tail wagged a little bit. Noma Barnett 46 and Ozzy Dan Worrell 36 not out. So 2-3-6 all out. Wickets coming 5 for Marchant DeLang, 5 for 62. 3 for 72 for Carey and 2 for 23 for Michael Hogan. So Lucas Carey is the Carey. Right, Glamorgan, first innings, big score, 5-2-6 for 9. Top effort. 2 Centurions. Sean Marsh, 111, dismissed by fellow Aussie Worrell. And Lloyd, 119 for Lloyd. Looking for Lloyd's name. Where's Lloyd? David Lloyd. Of course it would have been David Lloyd. I was just thinking then, it can't be David Lloyd. I can't be getting confused by the commentator. But we have yet another David Lloyd. It is. I'm questioning myself there. 119 for Lloyd. Martin DeLang, 50 not out, so a good couple of digs for him. 3 for 102 for Higgins, pick of the bowlers, and 2 for 54 for Benny Howe. But top of the order, 2 for 91 for Dan Worrell. So, Gloucestershire, second innings. What do they do from here? 3-7-2 all out. A damn good effort, but is that enough? I'm not sure it's going to be. 120 not out for James Bracey batting at number 4. Some more runs in this one. Higgins again 61. Worrell with another score and getting 50 this time. And Taylor at number 10 48. Is it enough? Like I said, probably not. Lucas Carey 4 for 105. Martin DeLange's had a really good game, 3 for 98 and 2 for 74 for Michael Hogan. Set a target of about 85, 80-ish, and it was 85 for 4 to win the game. Nick Selman 36, Murphy 18 the opening, and then Sean Marsh out second ball. Put a bit of pressure on, but they were taken over the line. David Lloyd 8 not out, and sorry, can't read what I'm saying here. And Donald 10 not out to get the win for Glamorgan, winning by 6 wickets.
Yeah, good win for Glamorgan. That interesting game of cricket. Yes, there's been runs, but it's one or two people really standing head and shoulders above anyone else. Happy to see Martin DeLang pick up some wickets, rate him as a bowler. Sean Marsh, good to see you overseas. David Lloyd had a bit of a breakout season back in 2016. Good to see him in the runs batting down in the 7-hole for Glamorgan. The one that I really like is James Bracey picking up 100 for himself as well. That's his second first-class 100. He's only 20 years old. Born in 1997, which makes me feel incredibly old. It's painful to look at date of birth these days, but really happy to see him score runs. And they gave it a shot, right? They were behind the 8 ball. They were 200 for 7, but they managed to pull themselves to 372. So a bit of a fighting spirit from the Gloucestershire team and getting 4 wickets at the end out of Glamorgan's 10, but not quite good enough over the 4 days, but good to see that fight.
Yeah. A bit of a dirty game coming up here. Durham against Kent lasted 2 days. Durham's first game of the season, not what you want to see. For a start, our tip for stardom, Aidan Markram's debut in county cricket, none and none. The young fella got a pair, so welcome to English county cricket, Aidan. Right, Durham, 91 all out. I don't think we're going to touch on the batsmen. A few teens, but that's about it. With the ball, Kiwi Matt Henry, 5 for 28, and then 3 for 29 for Stevens. Darren Stevens. He just does it. Will he ever go away, Darren Stevens? No. Just always taking wickets. And newcomer Harry Podmore, 2 for 23 off 8 overs for him. So short work of that. Kent didn't particularly do brilliantly. 169 all out in their first innings. So Bell Drummond didn't last long at the top of the order. Chris Rushworth got him LBW, but fellow opener Sean Dixon got 41 with Heino Kuhn at number 3. That sounds better at number 3 for him. 54. A 17 and a 19 for Stevens and Gidman, respectively, in the middle order. 3 wickets for Nathan Rimington and 3 wickets for James Wayhill. 3 for 29 for him and 3 for 39 for Rimington. So a bit of a lead. Really, it's all about what Durham can do in the second innings. Better fist of it, but 170 all out. As I say, Markram, 3 balls this innings. He was gone. Let's have a look here. Sorry, Will Smith. It's a shame he couldn't really get going. We really needed to, we've said about him, didn't we, at the start of the year?
Yeah.
coming in as an experienced player. He struggled. He only got 12 in this innings. The only player really to get some runs, Potts got 36 at 3, but it was down at number 9, Wayhill, the bowler, 84. Bit of respectability, and Nathan Rimington, 25. So take away those boys, and it would have been a bit of a dirty old game, was it? It was 75 for 8 at one point, so really did pull them back out of it, but it wasn't enough, and Kent made short work of the total, winning by 9 wickets, 95 for 1. Bell Drummond getting some runs, 45 all not out off 64 balls, and Heino Kuhn 36 off 71. So a pretty convincing win for Kent, albeit in a very, very low-scoring fixture.
Yeah, all the praise has got to go towards Kiwi Matt Henry here. 12 wickets in the game, and incredibly 20 wickets in the first 2 games of the season. The guy is absolutely on fire, and he was bowling quick. He was bowling quick, and he was bowling well. And he is accountable for Markham's pair. LBW in the first innings, and incredibly picked him up caught in the second innings. Just a superb performance. You bring in overseas bowlers and you want them to be able to give you this option every so often. It's not available to do every single week. People aren't that good. It's how cricket works. You can't be on the absolute best of the best week in, week out. But Henry, for 2 weeks in a row, he's picked up 20 wickets. Absolutely massive. And you've got to say, this Kent team is looking pretty solid.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, right then, last game for us to cover today. Derbyshire hosting Middlesex. And Middlesex won their first game, but Derbyshire's first outing of the year, a surprise result. Derbyshire won by 101 runs.
Wow.
Sorry, Derbyshire, but I think this is a bit of a surprise. So, batting first, Derbyshire, 265 all out. Top score, I can never pronounce his name, Hardest Villion, batting down at number 9. But contributions, Madsen, 47, and a few starts around as well. So with the ball, though, 4 for Harris. He's been in the wickets early season, hasn't he? James Harris, 4 for him. 4 for 68, and Tom Helm, England hopeful, 3 for 46. 2 for 53 at top of the order for Tim Murtagh. Roland Jones wicketless in this innings. So, first innings for Middlesex, what can they do? 157 all out, not much is the answer. Simpson top scored with 32, Sam Robson 19, but not much else to talk about. 4 wickets for Dwayne Olivier. The South African 4 for 26, 2 for 43 for Rampal, Villion 2 for 47, and Palladino 2 for 28. So all to play for second innings. This is where the game was won. 3-3-3 for 3 for Derbyshire. Top effort. Really, it was all about Lewis Rees. 157 not out from the opening spot. 352 balls. A top effort. But heartbreak, his opening partner, Rob. It lasted 236 balls before Rayner got him caught by Holden.
Oh.
Ben Slater, 99. Gutting.
Oh, heartbreak. Jug avoidance, but heartbreak.
Exactly. 219 that the openers put on before Slater was dismissed. So an unbelievable effort from those boys. Madsen at number 3, 52. Hughes was out for 51, but Billy Godleman, 1 not out. Enabled the declaration, which set up a target of 441 for Middlesex, and they fell 101 runs short after being dismissed for 340. A lot of starts, a lot of double-figure scores, but nobody really grabbing hold of it and getting on with it. Max Holden at top of the order, 37. Cartwright, 29. Hilton, not Hamilton, Cartwright, 29. Rayner, 18. Sterling, 42. Simpson, 24. Harris again in the run, 64. 64 not out. Great start to the season for him. Toby Roland Jones, 46. A 52 for Tom Helm at number 10, but just not enough. 340 all out. Derbyshire win by 101 runs, and a cracking first game and first win for Derbyshire.
Yeah, I've got to go with you. That's a surprise to me. I thought Middlesex were almost a shoe-in to win this league and pretty much breathe it, but it's not to be. But James Harris in the wickets again. He's up to 13 on the season, so he's just bowling incredibly well, incredibly consistent. You look at guys like Sam Robson, over the last year or so, he's probably taken himself out of England contention. However, when people fail, it kind of brings his name up, but he's not actually doing anything to warrant being in the conversation other than having a test match century to his name from a previous performance. Derbyshire will be just over the moon with this. Dwayne Olivier, 4 for 26. Absolutely great. Wickets in the second innings as well. 8 wickets in the game. They don't look a bad team. And the batting as well. I never saw this 333 for 3. Incredibly, the run rate was 3 as well. I never saw that coming. Never saw that coming. A 219-run partnership on a wet wicket. It might not have been wet, but it's a tough time for batting in April. Yeah. The ball does a lot. And great talent, Slater and Rees getting it done for the team and putting Derbyshire in the incredible position where they're 1-0.
Yeah, definitely. Derbyshire and Leicestershire, 2 teams really that have been kind of whipping boys over the last few years, haven't they? So it's nice to see them guys getting off to a relatively positive start. You know, Leicestershire with the draw and Derbyshire with the win. But Middlesex will be disappointed. They're sitting in second place at the minute on 23 points. Warwickshire won 1, drawn 1 at top, 32 points. So they're still obviously, they haven't lost too much ground. But Warwickshire, they've flown out of the traps, haven't they? But it's going to be a strange one. Durham, I just want to quickly mention Durham. What a dreadful start to the season for them. Yeah. And it really is going to be a tough going season by the look of it. Unless Aidan Markram kind of just turns around and goes, okay, I see what I did wrong. And then just goes and smashes some runs. So, Warwickshire on fire. Durham looking like they're going to have a real tough time of it. And then a lot of in-betweens.
A lot of in-betweens. It's been a long episode, guys, this. So what we've done is, as we said at the start, we've split up the 2 podcasts. So we've split the IPL and the news out, and we split out the county championship stuff as well. So make sure you check out both of those podcasts, which will be uploaded within 15-20 minutes of each other when they're going live. Rich, anything else from yourself in order to talk about cricket news, 100-ball cricket or county cricket?
No, there's absolutely nothing more to talk about 100-ball. I think you covered that one off pretty well.
In fact, you know what? I'm not even calling it 100-ball. Anything else on 16.4 over cricket?
No. Definitely not.
No. But that'll do it from ourselves, guys. As always, thank you so much for all the likes, the views, the comments. Much appreciated. We love interacting with you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Apple, subscribe on Android, and follow us on Twitter and follow us on Facebook. You guys have been legends. Until next time.